Dear younger me, dear younger me. I didn't even know there was a song named that. But anyway, we'll get started just in a few seconds. I'm going to say hello to my super chatters and my inner circle members and the other people that are in the chat. So, hi, John Tier, Healthinators. That's Bill Shoemaker. Thank you very much. Hi, Mary. Good to see you guys on here. Hi, Melody. Love you so much. I hope you guys are having a great day. There's Arthur. There's Craig. Craig, thank you for being the hostess with the mostest and the person be on the chat doing everything. I really, really appreciate you. There's Jody. And I see that we're a minute in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. Dear younger me. Now, this is a great title. I've been doing a number of series of videos that I'm going to post in description. But I might as well mention them now. It's so funny. I wanted to print them out. And again, this is sort of a dedication to my youngest son, Kyle. And, how to accomplish financial freedom. Is everyone lying? Is everyone lying? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Then we did, are you limiting yourself? And then Craig and Matthew, my other son, we did a podcast on the same subject, about younger me. And one of the things I want to share with you starting this out is not only dedicating to this, my son, Kyle, going through one of those things in his life is like, well, now what? Just got back from Japan. Man, I didn't travel international, I think, until I was in my 40s, unless Canada and Mexico count. And that's across the borders. Doesn't count. So anyway, the whole reason for this deal is there's a lot of stuff that I would have did different if I only was aware of it, right? And the common theme again about always younger me is you become who you hang around. People do not want to hear this. But I had mentors tell me, Robert, the people you spend the most time with, take the 5 people that you spend the most time with and then average out their incomes because we become who you hang around. So if everyone's got a job, pretty good chance you're going to get a job, right? And that's what I did. I didn't find out until I was 27 that you could actually earn money and have freedom without getting a job. So I talk about this individually in every one of these videos. The one thing that I want to cover most on this one is something that was brought up with my other visionaries, Craig and also Matthew. Craig Jackman, he's in the post, and also Matthew, my son. And here's the common thing. When you really go out there and do your due diligence to find out what other people have said when they get asked this question, what would you tell your younger self? I think the biggest one is just chill out. Here's where the phrases come, and that's easy to tell somebody when you're on the other side of it, right? But this whole concept of, we're always making mountains out of, mountains out of molehills. Who even seen a molehill? But we're talking, maybe it should be called an anthill. But it's like we just are really good at beating ourselves up and overthinking. And worry is the wrong use of imagination. See, anxiety and worry and, oh my God, this is going to happen. And, some people can relate this a lot to having something wrong with you physically, right? So you're hurting someplace or you're not feeling well. Thank you, Lisa Marie and Buddy's Place. Thank you so much for the super chat. I love you. The orphans are going to love it. And one of the things that we just consistently do is we're good at thinking, but we're not good at thinking about imagining something good. And then if that happened, then this could happen. And then this happened, this could be happening. And so when you see winners in the world, like Caitlin Clark, right? She just had an imagination of being good at playing basketball. And then, of course, if I'm going to be good at playing basketball, why don't I get good enough to make the team? And then if I'm going to be good at, team, then you do this thing called Kaizen. And Kaizen is just a simple act of getting better, baby steps at each and everything. In the podcast that Matt and I talked about that we'll list is it's really, really amazing when we understand that every one of us can do the baby steps toward whatever we're going. And the joy and the attitude and the mindset of going through the journey until you just get better at what you've already done. And so when you look at anybody that's good at anything, including driving or their job or, taking care of people or putting diapers on or, feeding, it's like all this stuff that we do, we learned while we were doing it. And again, the whole concept that, well, what are people going to say if I fail? It's just so stupid because the people that are great in life and have a wonderful life and enjoy living. They're not living. They're not existing. They're living. And that's because each and every day they find a new challenge in their life and they figure out that, you know what, I can figure this out. Now, not everyone's going to have a dream to go into Japan, but it does say, well, listen, a lot of people on the planet are going, I've always wanted to visit fill in the blank. And if you guys are listening to this, put yours in, right? But it's always people are like, you know what? If I did travel, this is where I want to go. See, that starts with the imagination. Then the second step is very simple. Is then if you're going to imagine going there, how are you going to go there? Right? What's the tickets cost? When are you going to go? How are you going to stay once you get there? What do you want to see or what do you want to do while you're there? And then all of a sudden you just keep building this up until you say, well, right, now I know how much it's going to cost to go there, how much food's going to cost. I got it all figured out. And now I got to figure out how to get the money to make that happen. If you don't want to go alone, guess what? Then you got to find someone to go with you and budget that in as well. And so one of the things that a lot of people do is they just really, really don't open up their imagination and ask for help and ask for other people and what they do. But the one thing that I wanted to share with you is that this too will pass. This too will pass. Chill out. Everything's going to be okay. Think about in your past 5 years, regardless of how old you are, you're still here. You pulled it off. You're quite the survivor. You know what I mean? Whether you want to admit it or not, you've done a lot of things. If you really looked at the little things that we take for granted, the way I get people to build their self-confidence and self-esteem is let's write down all the things that you already pulled off. School, more school, a job, a driver's license. Just really start writing those down as whatever accomplishments that you did that, wow, your back was against the wall and you made a decision. I don't want to live like this. And you figured out how to do it. Might have been your first car, right? And might have been a newer job or maybe a promotion. But we keep the people that are living are people that are constantly raising the bar. They're raising their standards. They're just making their standards a little better. And now I'm going to go do that. Now I'm going to go do that. So now I know Kyle, wished he knew Japanese when he went to Japan. So, he told me and his mother, Terry, that, hey, you know what? I wanted to work that out. I wanted to figure that out. And so the other thing, other than chilling out, and this too will pass, is here's something that everyone brings up that is covered in the podcast. But I want to bring it up on this video too. Is this whole concept that life happens for you, not to you. All right. So if you read my book, you can go to roberthollis.com/free. My book's there. You can get it in PDF format, bestseller in 3 different categories. just a story of my rigs, the richest story. In there, it becomes very, very apparent that some of the most awful things that ever happened in your life made you who you are today. So there's this concept that, wow, if I could go back and change things, um, then that means I'm a different person. That means that I might not be living where I'm living now. For some of you, this is great news. um, I'm in a different city. I'm in a different relationship. Garth Brooks. I was blessed to meet him one time, and one of my favorite songs is "Thank God for Unanswered Prayers." So there's a lot of thought in this concept that there's things that we want, and for whatever reason we don't get them. And when you find out in life that that might be a blessing, right? Uh, I was married before I met Terry, and man, thank God for unanswered prayers. While I was going through difficulties in my marriage, and all of a sudden my wife is saying, "I want to leave you. I don't want to be married to you anymore." And I say, "Well, you're not taking my son." And she goes, "Okay." Man, I was heartbroken, and I felt like I did everything in my power, and my prayers were to try to repair this relationship. And then I would have missed out on Terry? What? See, that's my whole point with this is we might want to go back and change some things, but then understand that there's a lot of movies done on this. We talked about this in a podcast as well. And it's like you know, it's like, wow, if these things didn't happen, then maybe I wouldn't have became the person I am today. And some of you might be saying, I don't like anything about me. Man, can I resonate? And do I understand that? Because that's who I was. I did everything that I thought that I should, and in my 20s, and I was not happy with any area of my life. So, you know, I guess the things that happened to me up to that point was, what would I say? I would say that I wished everything was different for me. I wish I had parents. I wish I didn't grow up in the wrong side of the tracks. I wish I didn't hang around the wrong people and got in trouble. There's a lot of things that I wish I would could have changed. Later in life, you look back and that's that silver lining of every cloud. Your attitude is based on your altitude. And there's this stuff that you start going, man, I can learn to be grateful. I can learn to not be tied to my past and focus on my imagination and move forward. And man, is there books and books. And now I say there's a podcast on that. You know what I mean? So when you really get a chance to look at people and you might admire them for who they are. And then when you hear about some of the things that they've gone through in their past, like Iron Man, you know, you look at the whole story of Robert Downey Jr., or you look at the story of, Jelly Roll, or you look at the story of somebody that's an athlete that all of a sudden, they got hurt and they tore an Achilles tendon and it took them 2 years to rehab and get theirself back. And then they become a comeback story. It's like the thing that consistently gets me to imagine of a better future is just me consistently watching winner stories, getting biographies, and now they're called documentaries. I guess there's both. But you watch the things where people seem like they had their life together, but then you look at their whole documentary or their bio, their story, and seeing what they all went through. It's like, golly. And then the other thing that really inspires me and motivates me and gets me into action is not only hearing the stories that they went through, like my wife and I watched documentaries of Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and just a lot of other people that you really, really get to think, wow, wow, um, And like I shared with my son when we talked today before jumping on here, I just went, there's another thing that I would like to tell my younger me that I'd like to share with you guys is a lot of people have a tendency of looking at what someone does and they immediately mentally go to that place. I know I talk about this because I see this tie up everyone. And so what people do is they look at the end goal, right? So if all of a sudden someone's going like, ah, well, I make a lot of money, and then all of a sudden they look at all the reasons not to do it instead of focusing on the one reason why it will work, why you need to do it. See, we're all really, really good at going, ah, but it would take this long. And, I am, do I see myself from there? It's like right now, I see a lot of younger people that they went out and got the education. They went out and did what they're supposed to do. But now when they go into the workforce, their mind is like, you want me to start at 30,000? I can't even move out of the house. I I wanted to get my own car or whatever it is. And so, people don't understand that there's still the baby steps that you need to take. And the people that are winners in the world are people that you hear that went, "Hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes. If I got to mop the floors, if I have to haul out garbage, if I have to do whatever I need to do, I just need to be around individuals that are doing what I want to do." And if people would come up with that mentality and going, is it worth doing the grunt work or the lowest part of the work to hang around people that are masters at something? Oh my God, yes. That one choice would change your life. If you didn't need money and say you're living at home and a lot of your bills are there, why not find something that you would love to learn more from? And very simply find out who's doing it and then find a way in this day and age to go do something with them or for them for free just to get their time, just to get that understanding. You know what I mean? And it's just very, very interesting to learn new things and create new things to stretch your imagination, to consistently to challenge yourself to do that. So dear younger me, I didn't know there was a song by Mercy Me. There's a lot of songs and also things that talk about this. And I just know that I know that I know that you not knowing and you trying to come up with your thoughts on how to handle it, why wouldn't you learn from other people's mistakes? Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, there are different ways of learning. A lot of people don't want to make mistakes and don't want to fail. So it's impossible for them to learn from their lessons and their mistakes and their failures because they just won't do anything. I don't know how they got in their head that everything just should be given to you and you must know everything. It's like, so you got this group of people that are hanging around, or older people, even people before they die, where you just want it to be easier. Unfortunately, resistance is in everything in life. You gotta suck at it to get good at it. And you gotta get good at it before you can get better at it. It's just like getting belts in martial arts or doing anything. Um, so if that's true, why not just get started? Then you get people that do learn from their mistakes. They're okay with taking mistakes, getting mistakes, and then they're okay with learning. All right, I thought I wanted to play guitar. I don't want to do that. I thought I wanted to play trumpet. I don't want to do that. I really thought I was going to be a mechanic and a crew chief, but a blessing in disguise. See, I got hurt on the job that made me evaluate everything that I was doing. And then when I found people that go, Robert, you can make money because there is something more important than money, and that's called freedom. And so you don't need a job to make money. And I'm like, what? I want to understand this, right? And then here's the one that I learned later in life. that you can actually learn from other people's mistakes. See, now what you can do is find someone that's got the lifestyle that you would love. Doesn't mean that that's going to be the last one, but try to start looking for individuals that have the lifestyle, the freedom, uh, the way they get along and do things for their family and also for charity. Really stretch your mind to go, hey, who's out there that's like that? And then let them share with you um, the mistakes that they made. Let them share with you the mistakes that they made. And all of a sudden you'll go, wow, I never thought of that. Because people have a different perception. They have a different wisdom from themselves. Uh, when I'd rather learn from people that have already made those mistakes. That's a real shortcut. And so I just want you to know, for people that that are struggling, uh, usually with not figuring out what is going to be the next thing they're going to do, is to sort of really open up their mind of the things that people do. And instead of just looking at the person at the top or the top 10 at top, like I said to Kyle today, you know, uh, you know, a lot of people make money on YouTube. A lot of people make money on streaming. A lot of people make money playing video games. A lot of people make money doing a lot of things. But wouldn't you think that would be interesting to really figure out what gives you the most joy in life and then start researching to find someone that makes that kind of money? And then when you figure out that, wow, there's people that make millions of dollars a year doing this. Yeah. How, excuse me, how can you just get started and learn to make $500 a month doing that? Because then if you teach other people how to make 500 a month, then you can make 1,000. And then if you can make 1,000, you could continue to get gooder and gooder at the things that you suck at, and you become more confident because now you're seeing results of what you're doing. And then the next thing you know, you're making 2,000 a month. See, when I figured out that I could work from anywhere in the world on my phone using free Wi-Fi, that changed the way that I thought about doing business or earning income. When I found out that I could do one thing one time and get paid on it every month from that point on, wow, residual. I was unaware of this. I think I'll do that. When you can compound, again, Albert Einstein said compounding is like the eighth wonder of the world. There's people that pay it and people that make money from it. So why not figure out how to leverage and compound your income? It's like, wow, what if I helped other people get focused on freedom and also earn extra income and help them build their imagination, then do everything I could to support them in that journey. And 5 years goes by anyway. So if I could find some people that wanted to learn and take little baby steps and slowly get up there, um, then guess what? If you have 1,000 of those or 13,000 of them, my God, or 30,000 of them, 100,000 of them. So this concept of a subscription model is real, right? And so, that's what I would say to my younger self is, chill out. Everything's going to be okay. This too will pass, whether you're on super highs or super lows. Winter's coming is what Jim Rohn says. And, just relax a little bit. Learn to ask for help. Uh, Search for people um, that have the lifestyle that you have, and then stop beating yourself up and overthinking that people like that won't teach you how to do it. I mean, we live in a world where the smartest people in the world are being interviewed on a podcast. And I'm not just talking about ways of earning income. I'm talking about, you're making sure that you learn to love yourself and believe in yourself, build your confidence, learn to, control your emotions, where you're not focused like a lot of people around us that are focused on things that are out of their control. Stress kills people. The number one thing that kills people in the world still to this day is heart disease, because people haven't figured out how to control their thoughts and how to plug the right stuff in, garbage out, good stuff in, good stuff out. How to work on relationships and communications. People read books like How to Influence People and how to communicate properly. They figure out about different personalities. I mean, people that are good communicators, you know what I mean, are really, really good because they're more interested in helping people feel better than their own agenda, right? So you learn how to have a relationship, how to be a good spouse or significant other, how to be a good parent, how to be a good employee, I guess, if that's your choice, how to get raises. Again, there's a podcast on this stuff. If you're talking about your spiritual or your physical side, now there's podcasts on that. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of people out there that have taken the time to figure out how to get out of the situation they're in. And wouldn't it be neat to hear about their journey and how to get out of it? Some of the biggest podcasts that are going on right now is whether you like this guy or not, his name is Theo Vaughn. And grew up poor in a trailer park, and now he's got one of the biggest podcasts out there. And the reason why is he invites people on his show to talk about anything. And what makes his podcast powerful from the ones that I watched is that he's very, very open to talk about how he feels about himself, how he sometimes feels like an imposter, and how he sometimes, doesn't feel like he's doing anything right, and how he feels like sometimes he's not worthy and he's not enough and he doesn't have any value. You know what I mean? Um, just sometimes constantly feeling like, you're a piece of garbage, and, finding out that you have a lot of stupid thoughts sometimes, and sometimes awful and evil thoughts, and then you find out, wow, other people have those thoughts as well. Then you got all this stuff that you deal with and trauma and being a victim and being distracted. And then you find out, just like I did, you know, being dyslexic and told that I was special and that I was, had a challenge in learning. And then finding out later that some of the most successful people on the planet were dyslexic. See, that's pretty interesting, right? And then you might have some kind of disability. And then all of a sudden you find out people that have worse disabilities, but they still find out a way to overcome it and bring value and happiness and purpose and passion to their life. I know probably the younger generation doesn't know a lot about Helen Keller, but, to be blind and deaf, and my generation knew who she was because she was so inspiring. And then you see these people that don't have limbs, or, it's fascinating to me that some of the people in the world still find a way to take every tragedy, every trauma, everything that's happened to them, and able to turn it into good. So, those are just some simple thoughts about my dear younger me. I'm going to put this video along with other videos in a little playlist. And, God, I have close to 2,000 videos online, and anything that I can do to help you in any way, please let me know. I'm one of those people that promise that if I got out of what my bad situation was, I would spend the rest of my life teaching other people how to do that. So I do a lot of live videos every week. A lot of one-on-one stuff that I do with the inner circle and also the Imaginators tomorrow at the same time, noon Pacific. I do a Ask Me Anything. People can come live on a video conference. It's a Zoom, and you can ask me any question about anything. So, of course, I got years of Ask Me Anythings on my YouTube channel. So I'd love to help you. So if no one's ever given you permission to be happy and have joy and be fulfilled, I'm giving that to you because my mentors gave it to me. And my biggest thing is I love this saying, oh man, who was it? By Zappa, the artist. You know, it's your mind's like a parachute. If it doesn't open, it doesn't work. Frank Zappa. Yeah. And it's like there's some great sayings out there. But my whole thing is, I hope that this gives you hope. I hope that this gives you, like I always say, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. But please share this with people because I believe we covered enough information. Not that we got it all, but I know we covered enough information in these 5 or 6 videos, along with the podcast, that can really, really get you on the track, the right track, and get joy and happiness and you know um a great, great emotional, passionate, inspirational imagination of the future, right? So Sundays we also do at 12 o'clock noon, imaginators. Why not learn to imaginate? And yeah, I just love and appreciate you. If people can hate on you, I can love you. And I love and appreciate you for watching this video. Please do me a favor, subscribe and click on that bell to get notification of other videos that we do. And please do me a favor and make a comment and share this video with others, people that seem like they can't find their way. They're stuck, they're lost, uh, they've given up hope, they're living in despair and stress, depressed out of their mind, um, having anxiety and worrying all the time, believing there's not a better way. I've been there more than once. So if you know my story, I've been there a number of times in very dark places. And it was great that I figured out from others, not myself, how to get me out of those situations. So I hope to see you on the next video. Bye for now. And I hope you have a wonderful life. I hope you figure it out. Bye for now.